Okay, so here's how this whole thing kicked off. Picture this. A blog post from Anthropic just appears online, and then, just as quickly, it vanishes. But in that short window it was live, it promised something absolutely huge. A new AI model with a massive leap in capability. Today, we're going to unpack that leak.
So that's really the big question we're trying to answer here, right? Is this new model, which they called Mythos, just another small step forward? Or does it represent a genuine, revolutionary leap over what we have now, Claude Opus 4.6? Let's dive in and find out.
All right, let's set the stage. The entire AI community was buzzing because a post just briefly popped up on Anthropic's official blog. Of course, screenshots started flying around everywhere, showing this direct comparison between their current top model and a new, totally unannounced successor.
And the numbers, they were genuinely striking. I mean, we're talking about a new flagship model that wasn't just a little better, it was substantially better. And then, poof, it was gone, pulled right off the site. And it left this trail of intrigue about what on earth Anthropic might have revealed a little too early.
Okay, so let's get into the contenders. On one side, you've got Claude Opus 4.6. That's our established baseline. It's an absolute powerhouse, known for its deep reasoning and its ability to handle complex code. And on the other side, we have the mysterious challenger, Claude Mythos, which was positioned as its direct successor. And wow, this table really lays out the core claims from that leak, doesn't it? You've got three main areas: a huge leap in coding, a really meaningful improvement in math reasoning, and then this unexpected new focus on cybersecurity. We're going to zero in on those first two, because that's where things get really interesting for engineering workflows. Let's kick things off with the first big area, coding. Honestly, the biggest, most eye-popping claims were all about this. A nearly 15-point jump on a benchmark called SWE-bench. That isn't just an improvement. If it's true, it fundamentally changes the game for software engineers.
Now, to really get why this matters, you have to understand what SWE-bench actually is. We're not talking about solving simple little coding puzzles. No. SWE-bench tests a model's ability to dive into messy, complex, real-world codebases and fix actual bugs pulled directly from GitHub. It's probably the closest thing we have to measuring real practical engineering skill.
Now look at this. What's so fascinating here is the sheer size of that gap. Opus 4.6 is already a top performer, scoring around 73%, but the leaked score from Mythos is way up at 87%. That kind of jump means the model is successfully solving a significantly higher percentage of genuinely difficult software problems all on its own.
So what does this actually mean for a developer on a Tuesday afternoon? Well, it means fewer manual corrections, for one. It means agents that can debug much trickier, more subtle errors on their own. It means more reliable code, better testing, basically less hand-holding from a human. And that right there, that's the holy grail for making AI coding agents truly effective.
Okay, let's switch gears to that second major claim, a big improvement in mathematical reasoning. Now, this has historically been a real weak spot for a lot of language models, but getting it right is absolutely critical for any kind of complex, multi-step task you want them to perform.
And look, here's why this is so important. In any kind of agentic workflow, say financial analysis, if the AI makes one tiny math mistake in an early step, it doesn't just stay small. It compounds, it cascades through the entire process, and suddenly your final result is completely flawed. It's like a house of cards, and one small math error can bring the whole thing tumbling down.
The leak claimed that Mythos performed way better on competition-level math problems, like the ones from the AME benchmark. And what that suggests is that the model is just far more reliable in those long reasoning chains. It's making fewer of those critical, compounding errors that can totally derail a project. So, let's put it all together. The coding improvements, the math improvements, what's the final verdict for an engineer or a developer? Well, the potential is just enormous, but we also need a healthy dose of reality here.
Look, if these leaked numbers actually hold up, the impact on how we work is going to be profound. We're talking about more capable autonomous agents, more trustworthy quantitative analysis, and a massive boost in efficiency because engineers will spend way less time babysitting and correcting the AI.
And you knew there was a but coming, right? We have to pump the brakes a little. We have to be skeptical. This was a leak. Pre-release benchmarks are notorious for being cherry-picked, showing off only the best-case scenarios. The model that eventually ships to you and me, it could have totally different performance. So think of this leak as a really exciting signal, but it is definitely not a guarantee.
Which leaves us with a big final question hanging in the air.
The specs we saw from Mythos suggest a model that could genuinely transform engineering workflows, making AI a true partner instead of just a clever tool. The potential is absolutely there. So, when it finally becomes official, will it actually live up to all this hype and change the game forever? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.